It is often stated that the Lebanese media are the most free in the Arab region, yet freedom of the media in Lebanon is restricted. Those restrictions have their origins in Lebanon's sectarian and financial structures. Therefore, the various media institutions focus exclusively on issues that are relevant to them instead of those that are relevant to the larger Lebanese society. Even though Lebanese Press Federation's ethical code endorsed in 1974 states that a newspaper is bound to truth and accuracy, these political affiliations cause bias. This raises the following point. Given that the Lebanese population criticizes or has different reforms in the system in general, can the media in Lebanon support and encourage this population in creating a space outside of that system, which might then have a role of a unifying bond to heal sectarian wounds?
Because Lebanese media are so divided and organized in line with Lebanon's sectarian politics and the way that also comes to organize economic life, social media is often imagined as that space where people from all walks of life might come together around issues of common cause. We also often think of media as something which either increase or decrease our awareness of issues. And somehow that an increase of awareness will lead to new kinds of political action.
The media does not introduce the change. The media can get people together. But then once you get the people together, you have to have the mechanism to get them to interact.
If we're thinking about social media and its relationship to the garbage crisis, we might be asking for too much from social media itself as a technological form to unify.
While mainstream media are used for the benefit of the political parties they represent, social media are a platform used by the people for the people. In effect, this type of media, which consists of Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, the internet, and all of its various applications, speed up interaction and awareness over and beyond that of its counterparts. Particularly, this is seen during a crisis where this type of media allow real-time communication. When looking at the Lebanese garbage crisis, for example, social media played an important role in mobilizing protesters with the Use Think movement. It furthermore underlined another worse crisis concerning the political system put in place in the country.
I think that the reason that we still have protests in Ramsey, the reason that many Madinati did alright, and the reason that protests still happen is because the alternative media platforms that use social media as a tool for outreach keep the conversations alive. Things like Ramsey, for example. Ramsey right now is probably the leading cause right now in Lebanon. It all started with pictures that somebody took on the corner saying it looks like they're taking apart the beach. And later on, after people kept investigating and trying to find out, they eventually found out that there is actually a development project on it. It all started with somebody taking pictures and posting on social media.
One of the things that happened with the garbage protests where these people applied pressure to mainstream media organizations. Some of them were able to speak to and connect with journalists at the major TV stations and even the major newspapers, getting them to say, hey, you need to come pay attention to what's going on here. And it was harder to do that. And eventually, even the mainstream press was, giving not 24-hour access, but like constant coverage, live coverage, people who were like reporters on the ground for hours at a time, interviewing people there, getting interviews with people who were organizing the protests.
Social media can be played right. We can do all sorts of things with it. And it can inspire political participation with the youth. It can inspire a more democratic society, right? Because democracy is about voting, it's about holding people accountable. If we were exposed to what was happening, we can make society better and we can be driven to mobilize. So social media played a huge role with that.
Granted, social media proves to be beneficial, but there are several limits associated with its use in a crisis communication situation in terms of initiating action.
What happened in Egypt and in Tunisia, the revolution there was not because of Facebook. Facebook helped make people aware of certain things. In Tunisia, made people aware of Muhammad Bouazizi and his plight. But what made people really revolt was when they gathered together in demonstration, met together, for instance, in Egypt, in Maidan al-Tahrir, and they started having the change.
We might think of these media forms as venues of conversation, one of the places where public conversation congeals and condenses.
This being said, there exists another realm of independent media that has emerged, such as internet-based blogs, which have created a venue for alternate viewpoints in a manner similar to their global counterparts. This form of media is a platform that leaves little room for criticizing, as information is said to be relayed objectively. Could this be the space outside the system that plays the role of unifying the Lebanese people?